got the whole squad. So they're supposed to be enchiladas, however, everything's got a little messy, so. We have some ceviche, some Valentina, and a Coke. Milo. Valentina with ceviche is so good. Hopefully you can see the food. Man, oh man. I had I was having a conversation with someone today. Second person in 2 weeks that told me about how they're having roommate problems. Oh my God. It just took me back to all the horrible roommates I've ever had. And she was telling me just a bunch of things. It's very much like a couple, how a couple argues. Living together with anybody is hard. But then she went into the story about how her roommate has no friends and how for her birthday recently she had invited over 13 people and only 5 showed up. And this girl I was talking to was talking shit, as we all do. And she's like, it was embarrassing. Because she had made reservations for 13 people and only 5 were there. And my heart sank, y'all. Because she was talking about me. I mean, I'm not her roommate, but I had something like that happen to me before. And it got me thinking, you know. She's talking about this girl that, how she's describing her, she sounds intolerable. And no one wants to deal with her. And no one actually wants to hang out with her birthday or canceled last minute. And she doesn't realize that she's the problem. And I think if anyone's had that happen to them, where you have a party and no one shows up, it makes you feel like shit because you feel like it's you. You feel like it's like no one loves you or genuinely cares about you. And that's a really hard thing to think about and accept. At the same time, people can just be busy and, you know, it kind of just shows you who prioritizes you and who doesn't. And that's a hard pill to swallow, especially when you've done things for other people, but they don't always do the same for you. It made me sad for her, but you know, it made sense from the perspective that this girl was telling me, you know. And I'm like, man, that's relatable. Hey. I remember for my 21st birthday, I invited 21 people, and they were, to be fair, I didn't really know all of these people that well. They were just hard acquaintances, you know? So, people started canceling. Then more people, and then the day of, like, hey, the day of, like 10 people canceled. Like everybody canceled except my one friend. And you know, we went out in the town. It was me and her, and she made it a memorable night. But it was hard. It was a hard pill to swallow. Because then, you know, when you have social media and Instagram and Facebook, if not the same night, another time you see these people hanging out with other people, and sometimes those people are the ones that they're hanging out with, they've talked shit about. So it's like, why would you want to hang out with those people anyway? Like, maybe I'm deflecting, but I think everything happens for a reason in terms of God protecting you from that person, or vice versa, or both, you know? But it's sad. Enchiladas chicken mole. Bear, go lay down. Go lay down. That I don't hang out with, who for several years has talked shit about all of these people, but then who are they on a trip with first? What? I don't know. Pot calling kettle black, man. Speaking thinking of. Work's been okay. This past week was fine. Because Jimmy was in a good mood, relatively. But at one point, she goes on this tangent about why her and her ex-best friend aren't friends anymore because she was talking shit about her, and how that's why she has no friends, because everybody just talks shit, and she's not like that, or she is like that, but she tries not to be like that. Hey! This cat's acting up because I'm not paying attention to him. Meanwhile, the whole rest of the day and the next day, she was talking shit about everybody. Everybody. I was like, we're so not self-aware. Stop. Ow! Dick. Stop. Such assholes. Cats are assholes. The rumors are true. Nah, I forgot what I was talking about. Stop. What was I saying? It was really good, so I was rudely interrupted by this one. Oh yeah, we're like not self-aware. When I watch back on my videos, I'm like, wow, I'm just straight talking about myself, aren't I? Like, who is this bitch? I don't know. I need to go back to the beginning and tell y'all. Okay. So, my earliest memories of friends and friendship were when I was in, it wasn't kindergarten, it was like Tiny Tots, preschool. And I remember having this friend who looked a lot like me. Like, if I can find an old picture, we looked like we could be sisters. And we had the same first and middle name. Now, I've blocked out a lot of memories in my life, but this one, I just remember it was so random, but I'll never forget it. I just remember when we were graduating and it was like the last day of class, she was with her mom. We were like 5 years old. My earliest memories was when I was 5. Maybe 3, but definitely 5. And we exchanged numbers, but we didn't even know how to use like numbers then. Like, we didn't call anybody. And she was so nice. Bubba, I'm trying to tell a story. She was so nice and sweet, and I don't ever remember anything bad happening with her. You know, you don't remember what people say, but how they made you feel. And she was always just like a light in my life. And I think that was my first heartache because I never saw her. I'm crying. Oh my God. I'm so sensitive. I never saw her again. And like, I think that's where like my, oh my God. I think that was like my first like fear of abandonment, you know? Wow, I didn't realize this trauma was gonna come out. Realizing that things don't last forever, you know? Oh my god. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with this girl? She's so sad. I've just been really emotional as of late. And yeah, that was my first best friend, and I have good memories of what I remember. And okay, cut. I told you to go back to the beginning, and here we are. Yeah. Oh my god, we have so much to talk about. I went back all the way to the beginning, and I'm just gonna have to keep continuing from here. But then my cousin, my second cousin, her name is actually Sasha. And sometimes I miss her, I do, but that was my first Mean Girls situation. That was like my first catty situation. And a lot of that I actually blocked out. I blocked out a lot of that. But she didn't make me feel good at all. In the beginning she did, but the first bad memory I have of her was we were fighting over this comb or brush. That was mine. It was actually mine, and she wanted it, and she cried. My aunt had to drag her out the house. She was like holding on to the side doors, like crying, like profusely, like red face and everything. And I was so confused because I'm like, bitch, this is mine. Like, why are you being a brat? Like, I knew what a brat was at that point. I'm like, this girl is just so spoiled. So I don't know if that like tainted her image of me or what, but it must have, because as we got older, she got physically more attractive. Like, no doubt Sasha's like, I would say a 9, like a good 9. Like, I want to say a 10, but like, everybody has flaws, like whatever. There's no doubt that she's physically more attractive, fine. I'm just trying to give you guys a visual to like realize that she wasn't jealous of me in the sense of like looks or anything. I think I was, but I don't know, just Sasha from the outside looking in had it really good. You know, I think she's married now. She ended up becoming a nurse. Like, she just had a good life. But I remember she was like a couple years older than me. Bubba, lay down. She was a couple years older than me. And one time, one of the last times that I saw her, she invited me to a sleepover with her friends. And they were just mean. Like, I don't remember specifics, and thank God I don't, but I remember like wanting to call my mom like to go home, like, and she was just so maniacal about it. Like, I remember her smiling, you know, like getting off on the fact that these girls were like being dickheads to me. Because she wasn't being a dickhead, but she also wasn't stopping it. It's like she was like, oh, well, like she knew that she threw me into the den with the wolves, you know? So I think now, looking back on it, it was just really hard pills for me to swallow. Realizing that life wasn't what I thought of it was in my head, you know? Like, all I've ever wanted to do was love and be loved, you know? And when the people I loved didn't love me back, I watched a lot of Disney, okay, and I really blame Disney. And just the movies and just society in general of just making things seem so much greater than they are. But I'm glad that we talked about this because now I'm really getting down to the nitty gritty of what the fuck is wrong with me. But I think just based off my experiences too, things like my 21st birthday could have also been a self-fulfilling prophecy because of my negative belief system. At the same time, to play devil's advocate, not everything that happens is a manifestation of your thoughts. People could argue that, but maybe sometimes things just happen. Who's to say that, you know, they say that you're creating your reality, but maybe things are just set in a certain way. Who's to say? But I honestly believe, because I've experienced it, that that's what can cause you to go into spiritual psychosis. Because you keep trying to manifest certain things and you're being told that you're the one writing your story, but it's not going according to plan. And it can really make you question your belief system and just completely break down when you thought you knew you had the answers and you just didn't. When you thought you figured out the law of attraction and the law is not in working for you. I'm gonna do one more ceviche to go. So yeah, thanks for the therapy sesh. I'm a mess for real, but I'm getting down to the nitty gritty of it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Till next time.